Hey everybody, it's your girl Lady Kootoure, the voice of all media diva, and we are in episode 12 for A Tribe Called Quest. Once again, I don't know if you can, I gotta flip my camera, but you can see it. For Midnight Marauders. Yes, I'm super excited. This is probably my number one favorite album from A Tribe Called Quest, or kind of, I guess you could say, it's so hard to like, because I love Low End Theory, I love the Love Movement, I love the other ones, but Midnight Marauders is really my go-to album that I listen to basically every day. But before we get into it, let's just get some things out the way before we do a deep dive into the Midnight Marauders. Now, first of all, I want to thank everybody for supporting and everything of that nature. I love it. I appreciate it. I have 600 subscribers the last time I checked, so let's keep that up. If you haven't hit subscribe, please do so. Trying to go live at 1,000 or more so we can go and have deeper conversations about hip hop or just about music, period, no matter what genre. Also, if you want to follow me on TikTok and Instagram, my handles are up there. If you want to hit me up via email, my email is right there. If you want to say hey, if you have suggestions, constructive criticism, respectfully, because I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. And also if you let me see, if you know, like I said, if you want to just comment or whatever, or have any suggestions of maybe you start interviewing artists if available, whatever the case may be. My email is there. If you want to donate to help the show be better so I can buy more vinyl if I don't have what you request or whatever the case, and make this, because right now I'm in a small room. So I'm going to keep manifesting to make this bigger and better, okay? You can donate. You're not obligated to, but you can if you want to. And my Venmo and Cash App are on the screen as well. All right, so again, let's get into one of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time, A Tribe Called Quest, Midnight Marauders. Now, Midnight Marauders is A Tribe Called Quest's third studio album. It was released on this date, November 9th, 1993. That's 32 years ago, and I was 14 years old, but that's another story for another day. Now, it did gain commercial success, and it debuted at number one on the R&B and hip-hop charts, and it was on its way to become a platinum record. Now, it is known for its eclectic jazz-infused production and a blend of humorous and positive and socially conscious lyrics. Now, the album is considered a second golden age contributor to hip-hop and a high point of the native tongues movement. Now, I'm going to go back really fast about the socially conscious lyrics. Now, there's one thing that the song on the album that stood out for me, which was Steve Biko. Now, you know, in the song he says, stir it up, Steve Biko. Now, if you don't know who Steve Biko is, I'm just going to give you just a little bit. And I may do a story time about him, probably, I don't know, for Black History or later on. But Steve Biko was the founder of the Black Consciousness movement in South Africa. He died on September 12th in 1977, and his death came from injuries while in police custody. And this made him an international martyr for South African nationalism. So he was a big, very outspoken about what was going on in South Africa. So, and you know, when you speak out against, they're basically, you know, what happens there. Now, moving forward with the album, now it basically it debuted at number 8. Okay, it debuted at number 8 on the Billboard 200, and like I said before, it was number 1 on the R&B and hip hop. That's a big thing. It went platinum in early 1994, and it sold over 1 million copies. That's huge for back in the day. Now it's all about streams. Back then, it was all about selling records, right? Now, the critically acclaimed album was widely acclaimed for its production, group chemistry, and influence, with some considering it the group's best work. And I definitely do agree. Now, let's go through some things about the album. Now, the album, which I love about this album, it has the robotic, like, you know, it and you have reach midnight marauders. I love it. I love it. I love it. And so it has the robotic tour guide that takes you basically through every song or introducing the track and offers witty commentary. So you say, and discusses social issues. Now, largely the production of this album was handed to Q-Tip, but he had contributors from Skeff Anselm and Large Professor. Now, the production is built on intricate layered samples from jazz, funk, and soul. Now, onto the social commentary part. Now, the social commentary part was that the lyrics had blended lighthearted humor with socially conscious topics. For example, Oh My God is a diss track, right? While other songs address issues like HIV, masculinity, and violence. Okay? Now, the album is also known for its smoothness, with the MC smoothly passing the mic between verses, which is a signature strength for the group. And you can tell that very well, in my opinion, in Electric Relaxation. Now, another thing a lot of people don't know on this album is that there are a lot of hip-hop artists that's on the background of the cover. Can you name them all? Name them in the comments. I may give out a prize. Anyway, so as far as the notable tracks that were on the album, it was, of course, Award Tour, which is with them and De La Soul. We Can Get Down, Electric Relaxation, which is like by far my favorite. Oh My God, featuring Busta Rhymes, Clap Your Hands, Lyrics to Go, and 8 Million Stories, which I love that too. Now also with this album, there was, as I said, the album is also known for its darker, grittier production compared to earlier work. Now, with Q-Tip instructing the producer to intentionally leave in the crackles and pops of each sample. Did y'all pay attention to that? Because I always say, and I think that's what I love too. When you leave and you hear the crinkles, like, and you do that, that's chef's kiss. It doesn't get no better than that. The title Midnight Marauders itself comes from a lyric in Q-Tip's vibes and stuff. And the name was also interpreted by the group to mean sound thieves looting for your ears. Right. I think that's what she said when you go to the go through the robot. As I said, Q-Tip instructed the producer to stop cleaning up the samples and to keep the cackles and the pops. Also, the sample of Ronnie Foster's Mystic Brew was on Electric Relaxation, and it's easily recognizable and was later sampled by Madlib. Everybody uses that Mystic Brew sample. Doom 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 doom. I mean that sample is like one of the most sampled songs ever. The production features more layering of samples, with Q-Tip combining different instruments to create denser tracks. Now, the album also broadened the group's sampling palette beyond traditional jazz, funk, and soul, incorporating snippets from artists like Billy Squier and Malcolm McLaren. Crazy, right? And I think it's a documentary, and I can't remember the documentary it was where Q-Tip, it was the Tribe Called Quest documentary, where Q-Tip, you'll see, he shows, how he made certain beats and things of that nature. So now the album cover art, as I stated, it was a lot of hip hop artists. It was a statement of unity, featuring artists from various regions to represent the entire hip hop community. This was during the East Coast and West Coast beef. So that was dope. I like that. Had everybody on there, front and back. So yeah. Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for joining me in another episode of Koutoure's Vinyl Sessions. I will see you in episode 13. Peace and be safe.